Hey guys, so today I'm actually going to show you how to set up a little scorpion like this little flinders. So we've also got a Blackrock Scorpion that we'll be setting up, and I can show you a little Tarantula setup. So we're just going to cover most Australian basic invertebrate setups. We do most inverts found in Australia the same way. But yeah, I can give you some information about the flinders while we're at it. So this is what I would consider, you know, a medium-sized flinders ranges scorpion, Hirsutus elongatus. So they have that elongatus name because males in this last segment of their tail will be especially elongated if they are a male, and it will only be about the length of the stinger if it is a female. So at this stage, this one is a little bit too small to still say for 100%, or at least I generally don't sex them this small. But yeah, so a little bit about this species and why I am handling it. Funnily enough, like everything, I am actually even allergic to these guys, but they are so docile that I still handle them. Now, if a normal person was to be stung by one of these, and it's a sting, not so much a bite, but if a normal person was to be stung by one of these, it's kind of comparable to just like a mosquito bite. And then with my type of allergy, it's kind of more like on the worse end of a bee sting, I guess. So it's still not too bad. I know some people who are allergic to bees can be allergic to these guys, like anaphylaxis. So if you have a bee allergy, I probably wouldn't recommend keeping one of these. But otherwise, they're pretty good. So yeah, they're one of the biggest scorpions when they're fully grown in Australia, and they're definitely one of the friendliest, and again, one of the easiest to keep. So I'll stop handling this little guy and I'll show you how we're going to set up the enclosure. Okay, so here we've popped the scorpion in to a little 1 foot cube, or actually these are a little bit smaller. They're a 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter cube. So 2/3 of a foot for the Americans. Now we've got this set up pretty simply. This is coir peat mixed with sand, otherwise known as cocoa peat, cocoa fibre, goes by a lot of different names, mixed with some really fine play sand. And that's going to give it the ability to hold moisture in as much as it needs to. Now there is a cricket in here that the scorpion is chasing right now, although I don't know how interested he is, because he kind of could have eaten it by now if you wanted to. We've also got a fake plant in here, just slightly buried. Only need a couple of leaves off one of those big vines, so one of those vines could go a really long way with one of these. And a couple of rocks, and these rocks were actually supplied to me by the wonderful dill hole that is in every one of my comment sections. So thank you very much, Dill. Here's one example of where I'm going to be using these rocks that you sent me. So there we go. Scorpion's just kind of trying to climb the edges at the moment. He's a little bit upset that he got handled and then put into an enclosure. But the one thing that's left to do, what I really recommend, because these are a burrowing scorpion, I recommend this with any burrowing insect, any burrowing tarantula, is finish up. Oh, and he is climbing the sides. So he is able to climb the sides right now because there's sand stuck to the glass. If I clean this glass and wipe it down, he would not be able to do this, although he would still potentially be able to climb the silicon joint. It's actually the first time I've witnessed a scorpion doing this. I've been told by a dear friend who got me into the scorpions that they are capable of doing this, but I've never seen it for myself. So there you go, he is completely off the ground at the moment. But anyway, what we will do is we'll make a little burrow. So just start a burrow by putting your finger into the soil, into the coir peat mixture against the glass, and then that way hopefully he will find this and he will decide to continue with the burrow that's against the glass, and that way it's easier to find him. Now you could go up to double this thickness. You could go pretty deep with this substrate. The reason I'm not is I have had burrows collapse in the past onto the animals, and the other reason I'm not is because this is a pretty small scorpion. I want to be able to see it to make sure it's feeding properly. I want to be able to see it to know when it's molting. I want to be able to see it to sex it. So we're only going to keep a pretty short little substrate here. We'll give it a second option for burrowing around the side here. So again, just wiggle your finger down against the glass. Kind of compact those edges so it holds. And it's that simple. Now what I have added in as well is there's some moist sphagnum moss just under those leaves. So that'll be a natural hiding place under those leaves where you can go to get a little bit damper. This enclosure will get sprayed once to twice a week with some water, and it'll get fed with a little cricket once to twice a week. More often you feed them, the faster they will grow. I wouldn't recommend going more than about 2 weeks between feeds where possible, but yeah. So that's... I just dropped something, sorry guys. But one final look at how I've got this set up. Okay, so next up we have a setup by my partner for his little Blackrock Scorpion. They are a smaller species, but they are a little bit more aggressive, so I won't be handling this one. The total overall length that these guys get to is up to about 5 centimeters, but remember that is including the stingers and the pinchers and stuff, so they are, yeah, a much smaller species. 5 centimeters is 2 inches. Realistically, they end up being about an inch when they're in their just natural sort of position. So once again, we've got some fake leaves here. Just pulled them off a fake vine sort of thing. We've got some more rocks from the wonderful dill hole. Some really nice fine play sand. And some core peat. And that's kind of divided into 2 different sections, and he's gotten a bit artistic in the front. But there we go. So again, this will get sprayed down with water probably once a week, maybe twice a week sort of thing. Depends on how wet you get it when you spray, and also how much ventilation there is. Now realistically, all of these species can actually be kept in about a Chinese container size. But I just wanted to do some really nice display enclosures with these little cubes. So huge thank you to Camo's Reptiles for these cubes. They were pre-loved. They did have his tarantulas in them. He upgraded his tarantulas, and I was able to get my hands on these pre-loved for free. So some nice little eucalyptus leaves and twigs and stuff, just so that there's something to kind of burrow under. And once again, we'll start a burrow against the glass so that hopefully we can see this guy when he goes down into it. And that's all it takes. The reason that Camo stopped using these cubes is because they are a full mesh top enclosure, which I like the little feeding door. I like the ease of opening them, but the full mesh top was releasing too much of the humidity, and the enclosures were getting too dry too quickly. So for now, I probably will be giving these just a little mist of water twice a week, and then what I will do is I've got some spare perspex downstairs. I will cut a piece of perspex to cover this entire back section, and then only the front will be ventilated. I may even end up doing some perspex to cover that up, because these really need next to no ventilation. As long as you are opening this once a week to feed it and mist it, that's about all the ventilation they need. Anything more will just let it kind of dry out quicker than you want it to. So we'll probably at the very least perspex this in, maybe perspex this in, just leave the front corner for ventilation, and that'll be it. If you guys want to see updates on this, you want to see more about invertebrates, let me know and I'll make some more content with these. I can make a lot of content on these guys at the moment, so if you're interested, I'll do that. Okay, now here we've got a little baby tarantula, Phlogius hirsutus. I'm not really good with these scientific names. Baby tarantula is good enough, I think. But once again, we've set this up pretty simply. Some core peat. I think it might have a tiny little bit of sand in it. There's also a little decorative patch of sand. Got some real dry leaves in there, and then also got a fake leaf in there. And that will pretty much do for this. We've also started a burrow for it just around here. So it is a little bit hard to see, but there is a little burrow started for it over here. Hopefully it'll web that right up, kind of make it enclosed into a tunnel. And that's it. And it's all in one of these glass bottom, plastic top, microwave safe food containers. So it's one that's got the ventilation for when you're microwaving and stuff. So that hole is small enough that I don't believe the tarantula should be able to get out of there. And yeah, I really like these containers. I like the way that they open. I like their ventilation. Realistically, if it's clicked to open but then pushed back mostly into the closed position, that's about enough ventilation for one little tarantula. They're pretty cool. And this is realistically just a fancy version of a Chinese container setup, which is all you need when they're this small. So if you would like more tarantula content, tell Ozzy to get over his fear. But there we go. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed seeing some invertebrate content. As I said, if you guys do like invertebrate content, let me know and I can make some more of it. You know, anything you really want to see. I have a friend who's breeding some big tarantulas at the moment, so if you want to see that, let me know and I'll go and film a bit of that. Otherwise, there will be some breeding updates coming up on the Womas, which you guys saw in one of the last videos, them locking up. And then also I am probably going to have a video coming out soon. I've just kind of fine-tuned my egg incubator a little bit, my reptile incubator. I'm going to do a video soon about how to make your own, because I think it's ridiculous that pet shops sell them for, you know, $400, $600, whatever stupid price tag they put on them. So I'm going to make a video on how I built my huge incubator for, I think, under $100. And that's big enough for me to have, you know, nearly a commercial level of eggs in. And I'll show you how you can, yeah, make even small incubators to suit just one bearded dragon or one snake on the cheap. But yeah, alright, enjoy guys.